Standing inside the gatehouse, we can take a closer look at some of the elements that make the structure so amazing. Number one, you can clearly see that the foundations of the structure are made of stone, which is not a local one. Everything is made of limestone, which is the local stone that the Israelites used to quarry in order to build what was built in the country. But down over there you see a black stone, which is volcanic soil. It's called basalt. Well, somebody 3,500 years ago, before the human race had the tools made of iron, had to know where to find those stones, to realize they are tougher than the others, and to bring them over to carve them out so nicely so they can carry the heavy weight of the whole structure. Now we just walk by it without paying any attention, but we speak about quite an amazing discovery and points at a lot of knowledge that people had back then. Another thing that we need to notice will be the line over there, which is a line of reconstruction. Excavating sites in the country, everything is done by international regulations, and if you excavate anything and you want to reconstruct some of it, you have to mark the reconstruction line. And that's how it's marked, sometimes a black line on the walls and sometimes a line of plaster. Another thing of significance is the pieces of wood that you see over there, and although it's under the reconstruction line, these are new. It was found with the undercut, and the scholars decided that that's how it used to look like, and that has some biblical references to that as well. We are told in the book of Ezra, when King Cyrus gives the proclamation that the Judeans can go back to Judah to rebuild the temple, it gives us even the way that the structure will be built. It speaks about layers of stone and layers of timber, and it's interesting to know that that's how it was designed here as well. The reason for the sandwich of the two was earthquakes. Timber will be a great shock absorber, and if you integrate or you make a sandwich of timber and stone, that may protect the structure from collapsing in the case of an earthquake, and many places in the country were designed in such a way. It still leaves the question, who was the person who conquered this town? Because here's what the Bible tells us. The Bible mentions in the book of Joshua, chapter 12, 31 cities conquered by the Israelites, including Megiddo. But we also know the place was not inhabited by the locals. It was in the land of Manasseh. Manasseh conquered the city, but for some reason they chose not to inhabit it, and for that reason the Canaanites occupied it once again, and somebody had to take it. Now, we are not given in the scriptures the person's name, but we can figure out quite easily. Since the last layer on the very top was designed and built in Solomon's days, and we do know that Solomon did not fight for the place. Solomon didn't fight for almost anything, losing most of the kingdom. David conquered for him. We do know that was not in Saul's reign in the Israelite territory. It leaves only one option. It was King David, as he conquered the last enclaves of Canaanites and the last pockets of resistance in the kingdom that brought this town down. He was the one to conquer the structure that we are standing in, destroy the city, for his son Solomon to fill up the ruin and to build his chariot city as the last layer on the very top. So that would be a typical gatehouse of a chariot town and not of a city. You see the chambers for the guards on both ends, you see the access road climbing from over there, and of course the excellent commanding post over the valley, which would be the potential battlefield.